Hello and happy holidays, everyone. I'm Bill Hammond and I actually paid to see this. As we wind down 2024 and get ready to spend precious time with our loved ones, it's always important to remember the true spirit of the season, no matter what your faith or how you celebrate. This is a time of giving, a chance to make others happy, and to reflect on all that we've learned over the last 12 months. So naturally, for the final worst trailer in the world for this year, we must look at a gift that no one asked for, one that will likely satisfy nobody, and that proves definitively that we haven't learned a damn thing. This is the wholly unnecessary prequel to what is universally agreed to be the worst of the Disney remakes, Mufasa the Lion King.
It's time. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, given the likes of Wish, Strange World, the endless parade of sequels and remakes, all the Star Wars shows that just dilute the franchise, and nearly every Marvel program and movie since Endgame, I think you've literally forgotten the meaning of the word story.
So just to be clear, we're not in this story?
Yes, let's declare up front that the only remotely tolerable characters from that 2019 abomination will be reduced to cameos only. Great strategy.
There's a lot of stories with all of us. Tell one of those.
Rafiki shakes his head in annoyance at the idea of repeating old plots, and yet, here we are. You don't get to pretend to be self-aware while you're still doing the thing that's annoying as Disney.
Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
So, because someone at some point wondered why Scar was named Scar, we have to go through this whole rigmarole? Really? You guys do know that we can just imagine an answer for ourselves, right? Or is it Disney's goal to just actively destroy imagination at this point? My god, this is already worse than that scene in Solo where Han had to correct Lando on how to pronounce his name. As if Billy D. Williams' pronunciation had to be explained and retconned as some sort of quirk that meant something. My god, we're barely 20 seconds in.
I told you to wait for me.
We can't just leave him here.
Rules are rules, Taka.
Okay, so his name's Taka. I wonder what that means. One sec. So in Japanese, it means honorable. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That was the main character's nickname in Haganai. I used to really like that anime. But this is in Africa, so that can't be the same thing here. Let's keep digging. Ah, here we go. In Swahili, it means garbage? Wow. I mean, just wow. So this guy was doomed no matter what. I mean, people used to act like having a scar and being named Scar was like some kind of diss that reduced him to his injury and maybe turned him bitter. Now it's canon that he was figuratively born trash. My god, the boss baby getting pooped out of the inflatable puppy was more subtle. On the bright side, we've got the true title of this series of non-live action atrocities now. Garbage! The Lion King! It's the circle! God damn it.
The king will never accept a stray.
I'm not a stray. I'm just lost.
Those words literally mean the same thing! Jesus, Disney doesn't need new technology so much as it needs a friggin' dictionary!
We do not associate with outsiders.
America's official foreign policy for the next 4 years. And God help us if it's any longer.
Taka is the future king. We must protect the bloodline.
Okay, so Scar is given an insulting name, and his rightful place on the throne is essentially usurped by the adopted brother. The hell, man? I'm not really all in favor of monarchies, but I am fully on Scar's side at this point. He is getting screwed. And yet this is somehow meant to be this inspirational film about the other guy? No wonder he's messed up. I mean, At this point, be prepared for just massive therapy bills.
But, Dad, I saved his life!
And he saved his life. And he saved his life! So he's a hero who gets a royal screw job on top of everything else to turn into a villain. Gee, I've never seen Disney try that tactic before, you know? And of course, if they did, I'm sure it would be totally awesome and not completely ruin some of their all-time greatest baddies. I mean, that would just be...
Well, I'm Cruella.
Fuck!
I have a secret, Mufasa. I always wanted a brother.
Yeah. Look, I know a major reason why the last film sucked is because the animals were too bland and had no personality in their animation, because we went for that whole photorealistic thing, but this is what we call an overcorrection. That is some nightmare fuel right there. Don't believe me? Try this on for size.
I always wanted a brother.
I know the major reason why the last film sucked is because the animals were too bland in their animation.
Now try to sleep tonight.
I get a scent. It's barely a trace on the wind, and it smells like home.
What? It's the end of the year. I'm tired. And honestly, if Illumination can make an entire empire out of fart jokes, I'm entitled to at least one.
You and Tucker together, that is home.
Or it's furry, yaoi fanfiction. You know, one of the two, I'm not picky.
Now both of you go. Find your place in the circle of life.
Yes, go, die, decompose, and get eaten by antelope. Trust me, it'll be less painful than having to sit through this movie.
There will be one Lion King.
Yeah, and it came out 30 years ago. What are we even doing here?
Mufasa, run!
Aw, she's giving him a hug. At least, that's what you'll have to tell your kids after they watch the adoptive mom get mauled to death by Disney's direct middle finger to Kimba the White Lion. Since when is this Lord of the Rings? Are we going to the Mines of Moria next? Also, I'm pretty sure that African lions, who mostly stay in warm, temperate climates, don't routinely climb snowy mountains. You know, just a guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb on that one.
If we fight, we die!
Cool, I see no problem here. All in favor of them fighting? Anyone?
Just to be clear, I never signed up for this!
And clearly, John Oliver didn't either.
This was a bad idea!
The literal words of every single person who saw the last film the moment this was announced.
I saved us! You were saying?
I honestly don't know which is worse. The obvious fake out on the premature celebration, or the fact that the greatest animation studio in history just reduced itself to an 80s buddy cop movie gag. Wow. And there's the only real selling point this flick actually has. A shoehorned reminder that Lin-Manuel Miranda still doesn't have an Oscar, so please, please, please nominate him for original song. Given that he didn't do anything for Moana 2, I kinda get it, and the fact that Diane Warren will probably get nominated yet again for yet another pointless ballad only serves as further motivation, but dear lord, this is desperate. And there you have it, the worst trailer in the world for this month, and the final one for 2024. Every second of this preview is an exercise in cynical capitalism, as the last ill-advised remake was raked over the coals repeatedly by critics and audiences for being dull, lifeless, ugly as hell, and utterly without personality. A true insult to the original, which is one of Disney's greatest animated films. But at the same time, it made over $1 billion at the box office, so let's do it again! Only as a prequel this time! And let's drag Barry Jenkins, one of the most artistic filmmakers of his generation, down with the sinking ship! It'll make a ton of money, everybody's gonna get paid, and absolutely nothing will change because there's nothing new to experience here. The only difference I see in this trailer and the previous film is that there are a few clips where the animals seem to dance along with the music, and I use dance in air quotes, in ways that they didn't last time out, almost as if there's a slight attempt to blend the photorealistic animation with the classic cartoon. Unfortunately, rather than making any of this exciting or believable, it just looks even more drab, dirty, washed out, and weirdly out of place. This is just another naked cash grab, and sadly it will be rewarded no matter how terrible it turns out. We had to learn the hard way this year that the old adage of being doomed to repeat history if we don't learn from it is very much true, and this is just the period on the thesis. I sincerely hope that this piece of Taka gets rejected, but our entire society is a flaming Taka fire right now, and I live in the real world, so I know it won't. That's all for this month, folks. Keep it locked on the blog, actuallypaid.com, for more features and reviews. Please consider liking and subscribing if you made it this far and don't want to see me devoured by jungle cats. And as always, if you have a suggestion for a preview to get the worst trailer treatment, hit me up in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. More importantly, though, we've all been through a lot this year. So no matter what jokes I crack or what bile I spew, I genuinely wish you all a very happy holiday season, and I hope you enjoy yourselves regardless of what you go see at your local movie house. Yes, even if it's this Taka. Until next time, everyone, I'm Bill Hammond. I actually paid to see this, and let's do our best to take care of each other in 2025.
Hit. Bring it hit. Yeah, there we go. Nice.
I look festive. Hello and frickin' hat. Stop trying to disappear, hat. Just reduced itself to an 80s buddy cop movie joke. That's my response to that.
This is the BTRP Media Network.